everyone, and welcome back to the Cup Council. How are we all? Hopefully all of you are on a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. Welcome back to our post-match reaction to Liverpool beating Wolves by 3-1. But of course, the big news is that Liverpool unfortunately do miss out on the Premier League trophy. I know a couple of us, will be very, very gutted, but of course we still have a huge part to play in this season in terms of the Champions League. But of course we will talk all about everything that happened. Of course, Villa almost getting the job done against Manchester City as well, and all sorts. But before I do introduce our two guests tonight, I will say at the start, congratulations to Manchester City. Look, I don't like it, I hate it. But, fair play to them. They've gone on and won the title with, 93 points. It's how both teams can, push each other to the limit practically. And it's unbelievable. And, fair play to them for winning another league season. I'm not happy with it, of course. I know all of us are. But, look, you have to congratulate what they are doing at the minute anyway. But we are joined by Mr. John Moore. John, how you doing, mate?
Not bad. How's you, man? How's you?
I'm doing okay. I'm a bit gutted, but I say a bit. I am fuming and gutted, but apart from that, I'm good. And we are joined by the wind-up merchant himself, Anthony. And how you doing, mate?
I'm great. Who put the ball in Southampton's net? Who put the ball in Southampton's net? Yeah, mate. I'm absolutely great. It's been nice today, I'll be honest, to have all the carnage going on around the Premier League and me being able to just sit back, relax, and not really care what Leicester do.
Yeah, and we are joined by another guest as well. He is screaming in the comments, Mr. Jack.
Knock, let me in. How are you,
How are we, Jack?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Up to pit boiling Reds. Yeah, we'll go again next season, and we are not going away. We are not going away. We're going to win next European Cup next weekend. But yeah, cheers, mate, for having me on. And John, and
no, it's hopefully,
and hopefully you can actually compete for the top 4 place next season.
I reckon we might. If we not even take a piss. If we don't have the injuries we've had this year, and we sign a centre back, then I reckon we'll push top 6. Thing is, we've had an awful season this year, and we finished 4 points behind United.
Yeah.
But one in shape, but
well, to be fair, that can make us all happy. To be fair, United.
Is it 32 points, Con? Sorry, is it 32 points we're behind United? Not too bad, is it? No, we're ahead. Sorry, yeah, we're ahead of United. No, levels.
I say behind. Jesus Christ, can't win a Premier League title like that. But yeah, it's always nice. Look, at the end of the day, just to cheer ourselves up by realizing Manchester United are shite, and long may it continue as well. Anyway, but let's get into for your comment anyway. If anyone does want to join, I should say anyway, there is a link if you do want to join, and come on and have your say as well. Chris is in saying, "Oh, that's painful, but what a comeback from City! Congratulations to Manchester City on the league. As for us, still proud of you. I'm gutted." But let's look forward to the Champions League final, absolutely, as well. Aran as well. I'm not going to read your comments out, mate. To be fair, go away. Chris, 2-0 down, and they scored 3 goals in 6 minutes. That's class from City. You have to admit it. Yeah, absolutely. Jack says
that's what Tyrone Mings gets you.
He's put himself on mute again, I think.
I've slagged him off all season, and then he puts in a Maldini performance at the Etihad. I can't say a bad word. He done his job. The inner Liverpool fan come out today. I was speaking to John after the match. You couldn't have asked for any more from Tyrone Mings. He put his body on the line. But up to Tyrone Mings.
It was the fact that all of us on probably a Thursday, we were when the news about Konza come out about him being out for months, and we're like, oh shit, we've got a partnership of Tyrone Mings and Callum Chambers to try and win us the league, and it almost worked, but it is what it is. Crystal says, my aim starts of the season was title challenge, win a trophy. We've done that successful season for us. Yeah, absolutely, and it is that. It is the fact of the boys should be proud, and that's exactly what it is. The boys should be proud because the fact we've taken the title to the last day. 50 points out of 54 in 2022 for Liverpool, which is unbelievable.
Who took 3 of those?
In 2022, not 21, you asshole.
Oh yeah, our game was the last game of the year, wasn't it? I'll be quiet.
Yeah, it was exactly. I have that.
I'll get back in my corner.
But John, to be fair, you looked at it, and I know plenty of people analyse certain games of the season, like for example, Leicester, Brighton at home, Tottenham at home, Brentford away as well. But to go 92 points again this season, especially from what we had from last season, there's a disappointment of just we got into the top 4 eventually, but just having the availability to go at it again this year at such a high pace and high tempo, it's well, exactly that. We have to be proud of the boys and what they've done.
100%. I've been on Twitter and I've seen all these money and everybody else saying Liverpool's battle the league. Well, where the hell were they? Where they at?
Mm.
We were told to start season that Chelsea or Man U is going to win the league. Where they finish? How many points?
The league.
Yeah. No, there's banter in that, John, in there, but they are in a much worse position. We found ourselves, didn't we, boys, watching United win every single league title, especially in my early years of watching under Ferguson, but they are a million miles away, even with Ten Hag. But that's the beauty of our sport. The sound people that banter the right way, and they're not the silly sausages, absolutely knobheads that you do get on social media, or just in general. You can banter, and that's a good aspect of sport. Sport's on there, John.
We all love a bit of banter. I love banter, but
there's
banter and then there's been just doing stupid.
Well,
the one bloke on a scooter.
Which?
On a scooter.
Yeah, he just went straight in front of a bus and nearly got himself killed.
What's he out?
Well,
that's proper off topic, isn't it?
I'm glad that wasn't caught on camera.
Cheers, Jeff.
But the one thing I will say is, as well, and I've seen plenty of people on social media mention this as well, the fact that pitch invasion, Manchester City, the Aston Villa goalkeeper, getting a couple of things thrown at him at the end of the game, that's wrong. And I've seen plenty of people go, oh, they should get points deduction and things like that. I'm not saying they should, but it's it's going to be one of these days where something bad happens and we don't want to see it, but stuff needs to be introduced for it as well, because it could have been at Anfield if Liverpool won the league. We'd never know. I don't think it would have, but
Would you want to win the league, but by a point deduction?
No, of course, no. I'm not saying it is going to be a point deduction. I'm on next season. That's what people are on about.
No, there's a much larger debate to have here, Con. I think it's a lot bigger than just Liverpool. It's football in general. Like we've seen with John Barnes and stuff, and a lot of the players in the 70s and 80s, the stuff that was said to players on the pitch. But football as a society, we act as a whole footballing community that it's changed. Nothing's changed in football over the last 30 years. It's just been swept under the carpet, really. There's still stuff that goes on within a day-to-day game of whether you're watching Sunday League or a Premier League game, stuff that doesn't necessarily hit the headlines in the news because clubs do cover it up and that. But it does need to be stamped out. And if it happened at Anfield, I'd be saying exactly the same. I'm not just saying it because it was City, but the last week or the last 2 weeks, it showed that the authorities have allowed this to happen. If they were quite strong in their reaction, the Premier League and English football have set a precedent in reality and why it happened today at City. If the Premier League or the league, I'm not saying like take points off Everton, I mean just come out with a damning fine or just be clear and obviously come out straight at it. But it's come the football community come together in relation to the Super League. But there's a lot more bigger questions to be asked, not just this season. And it's not going to change over what 12-month period. It's a whole footballing community in general. You see some horrible scenes in Italy and Spain as well. It's a much bigger question, and it's not going to change over the last 12 months. It needs to be investigated at every single level, and we need to be educating these people, most importantly, of why this is wrong. If they don't understand why this is wrong, then get them on a course, or the Premier League should be doing something about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you 100%. Gary's in anyway saying, hi all, so proud of the bloody team. Liverpool need a number 9. It's very obvious that Liverpool need a striker. Well, Sadio Mane. It's turned into one of the best false nines at the minute since he's gone there anyway. But we'll get talking then, of course, about today's game, and that is, of course, Liverpool 3, Wolves 1. Of course, fantastic start by Wolves. Pedro Neto scoring, I think, what was it, the first 2 minutes of the game, which was unbelievable for Wolves. Pretty shite for us at the time, of course. But again, it was so easy for them to get in behind, and they did cause a lot of problems in the game. Let's not get this wrong. Wolves, had a very, very good game against us. They've had, well, of course, 2 very good games against us this season, home and away. But Jack, it's the fact as well, their game plan worked perfectly for a certain, until a certain amount of the game. But what were your overall thoughts about Wolves today?
Yeah, typical Wolves, really. The script was probably, you'd say, already written. We all dreamt of, obviously, Phil doing the business, and he did. Then that happened. But everyone was building up Liverpool before this game. And fair credit has to go to him, and hopefully Neto's okay. It looks like he's done his knee in again, and if that's the same knee he's done, then he's been out for a load. And it's not good to see. So hopefully forced to him and Wolves, because he's a tremendous little player. He's still young as well, and hopefully similar with Joe Gomez, both of them have had bad injuries in their career in the Premier League. But yeah, phenomenal, mate. I think, and Raul Jimenez, Christ, I tell you what, the fact that Jurgen Klopp hugged him, wouldn't surprise me if we went over to Wolves and got Raul Jimenez. I know he's like 31, 30, but if we're losing divock, he's a player that I'd absolutely love. He's a player that presses from the front, and I haven't seen the Ubu like that for a very long time, and that takes a lot to do in it, mate. But yeah, fair play to Wolves. Conor Cody tried to give away a pen, couldn't quite get there. It was nearly brought down Sadio Mane in the first half. But he even hugged Klopp and he went, I tried to be best boss. So Steve, he couldn't do the business. But yeah, tremendous Wolves. And as we've been saying this year, mate, they need a striker. Then, like Brighton, if they actually had a number 9 that could put a ball in between sticks, they'd be a phenomenal footballing side. And they're not going away. Fully expect them to finish in the top 10 next season. And they push for European competition, obviously, with Hans Lester as well. The recruitment, he can go very far.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it seems the most obvious thing, for, like you said, for both Brighton and Wolves, but it always seems to be the thing that they don't get, which is so strange. But, if that's how they want to operate and that's how they want to work, then fair enough, to be fair. But John, Jack mentioned a really good point there with Neto and Ibu. Ibu, I don't think, as Jack mentioned, I don't think I've ever seen him like that in a Liverpool shirt so far. Out of position, didn't look comfortable. And look, of course, that's not Pedro Neto's, game plan was to do that and to split. And I thought they did brilliantly. That was to split both Matip and Ibu. But it's the fact then the recovery after it. Of course, I think, it was practically like a tennis match, wasn't it, at one stage, between us and Wolves. But there was that certain moment where throughout the game where we'd always look dangerous going towards Wolves, but there wasn't that initial panic then after about 15-20 minutes of the game. But for you, mate, like Jack mentioned, Pedro Neto, So I think Anthony's getting attacked by a dog.
It's a cute dog, so it's fine.
Would you take Pedro Neto, and how much would you think that he could go for? Something like a Jota fee? And the other part of the question as well, who do you think was the key factor of Liverpool in that first half? Because of course it could be Thiago, and we'll get on to speaking about Thiago as well. Sadio Mane as well, running into more spaces as well. But who do you think was the key player for Liverpool in that first half today?
I wouldn't take Neto. I wouldn't. I think his knees done. So his knees completely. It's balls.
So sad, isn't it?
Canate, I've never seen Canate play so bad. I think he looked very leggy today. He was just off the pace. Our best player in that first half was, I think it was Naby.
It wouldn't be Naby for me. I was fuming when Naby at half time.
I think Naby actually played really well.
For me, it'd be Hendo and Sadio. Sadio, we were playing on Mars. I was just saying to Owen, if Liverpool were playing in the final on Mars, Sadio Mane would get man of the match, regardless of the result. The man could, and he will get man of the match next week if we do win our number 7. But yeah, as you said there, John. And this, I'm not looking, because all of us love Liverpool and we love Jordan Henderson. Other teams, pre-Jurgen Klopp, would have bottled this. The pressure would have got to their heads. It would have went 1-0 down, 2-0, 3-0 down to Wolves in that first half, but not today. Hendo got the game by the scruff of the neck, didn't he, John, as well, and he drove this team on. He's the one player, it's easy target, because it was Ginny before him, it was Hendo, it was Mane last season. People just love to moan at players, and we're just so blessed to have Jordan Henderson. But for me,
it's so good though, and he because I've seen plenty of people when we talk about when people talk about combined 11s and so on, which I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely hate combined 11s, but when people talk about it and they're like Jordan Henderson, but he does so much for a team, even off the field stuff he's amazing at, but he just does the hard work that a team needs. And you look at, teams like, for example, Manchester United and, Arsenal and Spurs that don't have that workhorse player, I would say, that, can get them through a result. You look at it today. Today was, a very, very tough game without Jordan Henderson in that midfield. Like we were talking about Villarreal in the second leg, a player like Jordan Henderson was massively needed. And of course, obviously, things went our way that night, but we've had games in the past where Jordan Henderson's been needed, and when he hasn't been there, it's been massively noticeable. And when he is there, he's very underrated. And I still don't get how people.
It's because he's from Sunderland, isn't he? He's not Spanish or Portuguese. He's called Jordan Henderson, as we said. We all love him.
Yeah, no, we do. I thought the game was a good game, but one will say Liverpool have to go for Madrid's throat next Saturday. Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with you 100% on there. Gutted tonight, folks. We go on. Yeah, absolutely, Tom. As well. So proud of the boys. It's hard to take, but we pushed all the way. Credit to City, to Beast as well. It says Tesh. What else is it? Oh, there we go. Gutted for Thiago. Well, we will mention Thiago. Supposedly, he does seem to have a problem at his lower leg. People have said hamstring, but then other people have said it's more around his calf area. So, yeah, again, it's that worrying factor. Again, will he be fit for the Champions League final? We'll know more probably tomorrow and Tuesday. But at the minute, boys, would we say Thiago is fit for the Champions League final?
I don't think so.
No?
I ain't got a clue. I didn't watch your game. I'm just here for vibes, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
For me, he will be, he will play through the pain barrier. It's the last game of the season. I know he's not been getting selected for Spain, but you're telling me Thiago won't want to come off. Give it a go. Good thing about European competition is we got 5 subs. So what's the worst case scenario? He goes on, gets injured again, then we can sub off.
It depends what kind of injury it is.
Yeah.
If it's a hamstring, then he's out.
I've seen plenty of people going, well, he walked off the field, so it must be somewhat okay. But then
similar to Mo, was it like last week when he just come off?
Yeah.
I wouldn't go off.
Since I've heard people saying about walking off the field, James Justin walked off the field last year and then had 8 months out injured. Like, just because someone's walked off, you don't know. It doesn't mean it's any better or worse. Like, it's a good sign because the player's walked off the field, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's okay.
Well,
but hopefully for you guys, he is, because he's a proper good player.
It's like Van Dijk, innit? Van Dijk last year, or last season, he walked off the field and then obviously out with a very bad knee injury for, was it 10 months? I think he was out altogether. So again, it's one of those. But as Gary says, Elliott can play. To be fair, there are options, and like Jack said, if the medical department think that he can go on to, to feature in the Champions League final, of course, all of us will want him to be there. And yeah, if it doesn't work out, we have the likes of Naby, Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones, James Milner. There are options there in this Liverpool team. And look, I'll be confident whatever Jurgen says, and Jurgen probably keep us up to date anyway over the next couple of days, of course. But we'll talk about the awards, and that is, of course, Mo Salah. Before we do talk more about the Liverpool's second half, Mo getting the Golden Boot alongside Son of Chelsea's. Andrew's gone. Anthony's gone. But Mo Salah, 23 goals this season in the Premier League, tied with Mo Salah with the Son, and the Playmaker Award as well. I think 13 assists, was it, boys, that he had?
Yeah, 13.
Yeah, 13. But John, I know plenty of people have already said, Son should get it because he scored 23 non-penalty goals, which is very, very good, to be fair. But you look at it, Mohamed Salah, clearly the best player in the Premier League this season, and what a season he has had.
So I don't understand. How's he not one player of the season?
I think it hasn't been voted yet. That was the EA one, wasn't it? It wasn't the official Premier League.
Yeah, it wasn't the PFA one yet.
I don't understand that.
Hi guys, you right?
I think Matip deserved it more than Mo Salah.
What, player of the year?
Even that was a big shout. That Ali for me would have been up there as well. But, yeah.
Matip's been outstanding all season.
Yeah.
Well, we've got Alison winning the Golden Glove as well, which he does share with Edison, unfortunately. Well, as Jack's got his background, to be fair. But who would we say has been the best player in the league for Liverpool this season? John's gone with Matip.
Matip.
For the whole season, I'd say Ali. I think over the span of, obviously, especially if we did win the league today, those saves with Hwang Yi-chan when we were breaking through the line, he kept on denying that Wolves team, and you're like, bloody hell. Over years prior, before it happened, Alison Becker, we would have crapped our pants and seeing opposition teams through on goal. But yeah, for me, Salah and then Alison second for me, mate. The goals, he's on his 5-season runs now, isn't he? So,
yeah. Andrew, what would be yours?
To be honest with you, I'm heartbroken, to be honest, but I think, obviously, fair play to Ali and Salah today. But, obviously, sorry if I'm a bit drunk, a little bit, sorry about that. But, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is, lads? I hate City winning this league every year. It does me head in. But personally, obviously, we've got the final to look forward to next weekend, you know what I mean? And right now, like, I know the lads would be upset. Like, they'd be down. They'd be, like, frustrated with themselves that they didn't do enough today. But I think the Champions League right now would be a good start to get back on track. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that, again, I just think that, Jurgen spoke about it afterwards, didn't he? He said that the boys already are frustrated and want to go again already, which I thought was tremendous. For what he said earlier on, and as well, I think then the obvious thing was after the game. I think Robbo was the best example, where he was like down and out a little bit, and then when people started to mention, "Oh, we've got Champions League final next week," and he was like, "Yeah, we want to go again," and that's the important thing. We did it, 3 years ago. We missed it out by a point, and we went on and won a Champions League again, and hopefully the Reds can do it again, and it will be big.
Yeah, you're right, lads.
Next week, but of course.
Anyway, lads, I'm gonna get off anyway. So, hope you have a good night. I might speak to you later if you're on PlayStation. So,
all right, lad. Well, thank you for coming on. See you in a bit. But of course, next up is Paris. It's going to be a huge week next week. Of course, we will be in. Well, I'll be in Liverpool next week for the Champions League final. We do have, I think, Jack, we have something big planned for next week.
Yeah,
yeah, so it's going to be huge next week, and hopefully big celebrations next week for, of course, hopefully a number 7 coming home as well. But one thing I will mention about today, of course, that does anyone else think that Matip's header went in? Because it's been given as Mo's goal, and when I look back at it, it looks marginally over the line. And
at least we're not complaining about that. Imagine the scenes if Villa got beat, Villa won, and that goal didn't get given. I was so happy that we got the third goal because we needed that. Would have been squeaky bum time, wouldn't it?
Well, to be fair, happy for Robbo as well, because Robbo, what's that? Is it his second goal this season in the league?
He's got 10 assists in the league as well. Not too bad, is it?
Yeah.
He had a great season.
When you think about it, boys, as well, we've broken so many records this season in terms of just league itself. Mo, Sadio, Jota getting over 15 league goals in the season. Mo, Trent and Robbo getting over 10 assists. Ali getting, the Golden Glove. There's so many positives to take from this season. Look, overall, we would have loved to win the Premier League title, obviously, but there's so many positives that can go ahead from this season to next as well.
100%.
Immensely proud, boys, isn't it? We're living in unprecedented times, and hopefully we win our 7th one next week. And it's been a tremendous season. Whatever does happen next week, we've won 2 cup competitions, the FA Cup, which we haven't won since 2006. It's absolutely amazing, and what a time to be alive. We're blessed to watch this team every single week, week in, week out. Probably is, in our lifetime, easily the best Liverpool team we've seen, me and you, Con. But it's going to be a massive summer. Players potentially leaving, players coming in. But whatever does happen, these lads aren't going anywhere. And it'd be massive. It'd be interesting to see if Liverpool did react. We need to sign Mane down, and we need to sign Salah down. And for me, if you did sign, I was speaking this to John before, if we signed those 2 down, that would be more or less our answer to Haaland, really. It'd be massive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it would be massive. And the fact as well, the fact now that, of course, Real Madrid's Kylian Mbappe, everyone should know that story by now. Of course, Robert Lewandowski as well, potential move to Barcelona as well. There's 2 big European clubs that are having very key players, going to different teams. Will they want to, look at the likes of Sadio Mane, Mo Salah, both in the last year of their contract? It does, for me, it does offer that worry of the fact that, I think pretty much all of us are confident that one of them will sign a new deal, Mo or Sadio, and hopefully both of them. But I don't know if this is just me. I do have a worry that one of them will go to one of their clubs. And for me, it'd be more Sadio because of the rumours and the whispers and that. But I don't think it'll be next season. if that makes sense. I think that like whoever doesn't sign will go on a free. That makes sense.
I disagree there. Like, if you had to pick one, I think it would be Salah. Just the stuff he comes out with in some interviews, you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, he doesn't help himself, and especially in the PFA Awards. Sadio loves this club, don't you, boys? Like, you see him every single smiling. He's not bothered how much he gets paid. He's bothered about just winning trophies. Especially that's why it's so pivotal. We win the Champions League this season. It helps keep hold of your players. Because if you asked any player, obviously the league title is great in any league you play in, but all the dreams every player has is about winning European Cups. And if Salah and Mane win a European Cup again, or 2 European Cups with 3 finals in 5 years, staggering.
Yeah. No, it's dream making, obviously. Well, Gary said, I think Mane will sign, Salah will go. It's the thing is, for me, I think Liverpool will definitely offer him a contract. It's just I think Bayern Munich might try and do something. They're the only ones for me that have the threat of taking away Sadio Mane. Not so Real Madrid, because I don't think Sadio would want to go to Spain, but I think Bayern Munich, I don't know. I don't want it to happen. Of course, I want Sadio to sign a new deal. Love Sadio, but I think Bayern Munich might throw out all the stops to try and get him. Unfortunately, but Doug says, "Good evening, lads. Gutted, but that's football." Absolutely, Doug. If you want to pop in, my friend, there's the link to join. Anyway, but one thing we will speak about as well before we do go anyway, and that is thank you, Divock Origi. For me, club legend, and of course, given the best send off, today, thought it was absolutely brilliant, wasn't it? And I think to be fair as well, what could have happened, would it be magical? Of course, would it be nice if he was there today anyway? But before we do move on anyway, John, I think you do have to head off anyway. Thank you for coming on, mate. Of course, I will see you next week. And of course, we'll be doing shows throughout the week anyway with Champions League anyway. But thank you for coming on, mate. I do very much appreciate it.
No, thanks very much. We look forward to seeing this.
Absolute pleasure, man. See you in a bit.
Nice one.
But of course, Divock Origi, the Jack. Of course, it would have been nice for him to at least play today. Of course, didn't play due to a muscle injury. But what a servant he's been towards Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah, he's a Liverpool legend. I know certain people have called him, even me in the past, a cult legend. But when you think about it, he's been so pivotal in Liverpool's history in the last 5-6 years, regardless of whatever we've done in the league, but European competitions as well as goals against Barca, obviously against Dortmund as well in the European competitions. But he goes down Liverpool legends. I'm so proud he's played for Liverpool. If he didn't get injured, certain moments in his career, I think he would have really kicked on. But I think the injuries hampered him really. But it's been potentially Taki could be replacing him next year, especially if he continues scoring the goals. But as Gary and everyone said, Mason Hughes, he goes with all our best wishes, and hopefully he bangs in loads of goals. And AC Milan take care of him because he's a sound fella, and he is a Liverpool legend, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Gary says, Origi will score loads in Italy. Yeah, he will be amazing in an AC Milan side, which, of course, won the title today. So congratulations to them as well. Nunez can replace Salah, says Gary as well. That would take a lot of money, to be fair. Anyway, but Divock Origi, for me, Liverpool legends, of course, memorable moments, Barcelona, of course, Newcastle, the Champions League final back in 2019. There's so many amazing memories, isn't there, of Divock, and I wish him all the best as well in Italy, and hopefully next season be top goal scorer, because Immobile is always the top goal scorer in this area, which I'm surprised no one's signed him, because he's been amazing the last couple of years, hasn't he, in the Serie A. But before we do head off anyway, Jack, who would be your man of the match for today's game?
It's good on that fella. I think goal at 1-1, so pivotal. Saying that, no, Ali. I'm gonna pick Ali, because I think if he stood up, if he let those goals in, the game could have been not let them in, but if we conceded them goals, could have been a different game. But I'll go with Ali, Ali and Mane, but I'll go with Ali. It could have
Mine
been
was Ali.
another parallel universe. We've won that league today. No way. Villa keep a clean sheet as much as we love.
Yeah, well, we haven't
Ali
really
for me, mate.
Well, we haven't really spoken about it. Ali's my man of the match as well. Like his saves today kept Liverpool in the title hope. But for me, just of course the hope was there. Villa were 2-0 up. Phil Coutinho as well. It was all written in the stars, and within 5 minutes it was all washed away. But look, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Liverpool. We did our best. 92 points. City got 93. Fair enough. Well done. Congratulations. Next season we'll be coming back, and we'll be coming back stronger and better. And I cannot wait for next season already. But of course, we do have a Champions League final to look forward to in Paris. Of course, I was going to try and speak some French then, but I would absolutely butcher it. So I do. Well, practically, we will be learning French over the next couple of days, and on Saturday we will be definitely using that to hopefully help the Reds win number 7. Anyway, but Jack, thank you so much for coming on, my friend. We are going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Anyway, do you have anything else to say, mate, before we do head off?
Je m'appelle Jacques. Yeah, no, thank you very much for having me on, mate, and thank you for having me on the channel this season, mate. It's been an amazing ride. Not finished yet. And we go again next season, mate, and Reds in chat as well. Whatever does happen next week, we'll be bouncing back in the right reaction. But yeah, we're so blessed, aren't we, mate? But can't wait till next week. Can't wait.
Absolutely, mate. And of course, thank you very much for coming on the channel. Thank you to everyone who has come on the channel this season. Anyway, I haven't mentioned it, but we are on 580 subs I think of yesterday, so if you guys want to hit that subscribe button, be very much appreciated. Try and get us to 600 anyway, and it would be very, very appreciated as always. Anyway, but guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the Premier League post-match shows this season and everything in the league this season. Of course, we will be having content coming up throughout the week now because of course the Champions League final, but in terms of league season, of course, a bit disappointing, but we've got to be proud of these Reds, what they have done to fight back from 14 points at the start of the year, and to come back in such a way has been phenomenal. But thank you to each and every single one of you. Tom says in the chat as well, cheers lads, night. Of course, guys, please stay safe, please stay well, in the chat as well. Of course, throughout the summer, of course, no World Cup this summer, which is weird. It will be in the winter, which of course that's a whole conversation for, of course, the summer anyway. And of course, we will probably be back tomorrow because there's been news concerning a certain French midfielder and Real Madrid, so we will talk about that tomorrow anyway, in tomorrow's show anyway. But guys, please stay safe, please stay well. I've been Connor from the Cup Council. I will see you all tomorrow. Ciao, Reds. You never walk alone.